We have an interesting story for you, arguably a feel-good story in these dark times, and I know that's probably got to be a strange intro considering all of the Nazi symbolism next to me, but there's neo-Nazi demonstrators, okay? They're from the Hate Club in Cincinnati that wanted to do some demonstrating and ran up against local residents of the area who were not fans of that. So the context for this is Lincoln Heights. It's the first all-black self-governing city in the North, which I have a feeling the Nazis probably know about that. That's probably why they're organizing there. But here is how the event started.
He's gonna give us an escort to Freddie's car, and he's gonna let the boss.
Look at all the come, man. I think we got problems, J-Ball.
Yeah, that's what I was concerned. I was like, you're in the truck, and my little ass is gonna be walking by all the. And they call us cowards, but we're out here.
Okay, I'm still gonna call you a coward. Hey, you said that from behind a mask. Why'd you have the mask? I mean, I know, COVID's on the rise. Is that it? Are you being responsible? You're not socially distancing, so I have a feeling that's not what it is. I just love he's like, I'm so brave with his face covered up. But anyway, yeah, so we just want to show you that video so that you know that when we call them Nazis, we're not exaggerating or implying there's something, like there's swastikas everywhere. They've got the swastikas, they're marching around, they're occasionally throwing their hearts out to the crowd. I think that's what that hand thing is, I've learned recently. And so that's how it started. And you see the cops there, which were designed not to stop the neo-Nazis, obviously, but to stop the residents from getting close to them. Things escalated quickly. Take a look.
Burn that down, man. Let that burn. Let that burn.
Yeah. I'm out.
Yeah, it's weird because they were so brave. I guess they were bravely retreating. I don't know. I guess living to fight another day, but they all got into their U-Haul, which is a totally normal thing for a pack of people to drive around in, and they got the hell out of there, leaving some of their flags behind. And honestly, I love to see the burning of that flag. I mean, here, we only love the stars and stripes. You bring another flag and it deserves to be burned. That's inherently anti-American, and that's what ended up happening. So we have some more details. Look, obviously, we in theory have free speech in America. It's taken some big hits from the Trump administration, but I am curious, David, what you think about what the residents did, and also the fact that these neo-Nazi groups seem to feel very emboldened with the current occupant of the White House. What do you think?
Yeah, they're emboldened until somebody actually challenges them face to face or physically, and then they hightail it out of there and jump in their box truck and run away. Or they go into the New York subway system and can't figure out how to operate the turnstiles, and then they leave, as another famous incident. First of all, I adore and revere the First Amendment, and I will fight for anybody's right to march, to demonstrate peacefully, lawfully, even if it's a group that I despise and hate like the Nazis. But having said that, I also would die for the anti-Nazi protesters to also show up and yell and scream and drive them out of there, which is sort of what happened. So in this way, yeah, I think the Nazis got what they deserved. They had a crowd that surged towards them. They got frightened, maybe they wet their pants, and then they jumped in their box truck and left. And you know what? And they left a couple souvenirs behind that, so we can, people could have a little campfire with those flags. So I think the result was the proper one.
Yeah, and look, I know a lot of the residents were frustrated with the cops. We have a quote from a local resident, Kachara Talbert, who says, "I've watched black men all my life in this community being frisked and detained without probable cause, but I didn't see any rubber bullets that day. I didn't see anybody getting shot like during Black Lives Matter protests. I didn't see gas. The calmness of the police overall, the way they were standing in front of them, it made us very upset." And I certainly have empathy for people experiencing that and feeling, what. I don't know these particular cops, but feeling like there was more of a kinship there than with the actual residents of the area. But yeah, look, I agree with you, David. I believe people should be able to rally and everything. I think it's funny that like they want to be in public. Like they don't want to just be on stormfront.org or whatever. It's very important that they're in public to show their, well, not faces. They don't want them to be public. They just want the sort of implicit threat of their group to be public. So they want to be out there, but they don't want anyone to know who they are. It's a very strange thing. And if there wasn't, so naturally a connection to crime and all of that, to hate crimes, and you saw the guy in the video, the way he was talking about the residents there, then I would have less of an issue with it. But anyway, the fact that they go into these communities trying to anger people, trying to spark some sort of conflict, like the cops should be there, but I also think they need to be willing to shut down the Nazis every once in a while and not just the actual people who live there. When you click the join button and become a tier 2 member, you get access to all of our weekly top 10 lists. What are you waiting for?